What's Crack-A-Lackin? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
What's Crack-A-Lackin? Welcome into the episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleaze. Today, we're going to be diving into the top 10 kickers plus my top 3 streamers heading into week 11. And remember, guys, this is because you guys told me to do this, and it's smarter because the waiver wire is coming. So that way you get an earlier look at what defenses I like if you need to pick them up tonight off the waiver wire. Now, what we're going to be looking at is matchups, over-unders, points against that defense, allowed yards allowed. We're going to be looking at injuries as well, if there's any that I like to make that defense be worse or better. And before we dive into it, guys, as always, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on. I'll be live Thursday to Monday all weekend long. And if you guys haven't checked out drafters.com or the Guys FF Discord, both those links are pinned in the comments in the description of the video. Now let's dive in to my top 10 defenses and streamers if you need to pick up on the waiver wire tonight. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my defensive ranking board. My defense tier 1 at the top, defense tier 2 at the bottom, and in the yellow will be the defensive streamer plus the 3 defensive streamers. And the streamers, I don't try to take like the defenses that I think are on people's rosters. I try to find the defenses that are through my redraft leagues, still available on most of my waiver wires, and I play in very competitive leagues. So I think that's more of like a, better way to look at it than, saying the top defenses people have are streamers. So before we dive into it here, there was one thing I was going to say. I forgot what it was. Let's get it rolling. I'll catch up to. It's going to be on the Green Bay Packers, but I'll get there when we get to it. So defense number 1 on the week, is there really going to be a question? It is the Houston Texans that just won the game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars for them. Now you are going to get the Tennessee Titans and Cam Ward and the very, very, very bad struggling Titans offense. And the over-under of this game, this is what you target. 39.5 is the over-under. That is tied for the least on the week. That is exactly what they think. And this Texans front with Will Anderson, man, they just get after you really, really bad. I think the sacks are going to be here in bunches. I think the turnovers are going to be here in bunches in the passing game. I even like Cam Ward for, an interception in this game on the pick'em side. And this is going to be a very easy number 1. I like the Texans so much this week. And it was close between the Texans and the Patriots, right? Because you're going to get the Justin Fields, and we don't even know if Justin Fields is going to be the guy, even though he got the win last week, which is crazy. Their defense and special teams got 14 points. But the Jets can't pass the ball right now. The New England Patriots and Mike Vrabel and that culture they built around, dude, the Patriots are top 10 versus quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and almost the tight end. Tight end's their weak spot, but he has just built an absolute monster of a defense and monster of a team, and the way their camaraderie is working together. I got the Patriots at number 2 versus the Jets on a short week. And again, like Justin Fields passed for, I think, like 55 yards or negative yards the game before. The Jets offense is absolute shambles. I mean, Breece Hall broke loose on that one play to even give them passing yards. So the over-under 43.5 here, and I think the Jets get stomped out the building. Number 3 is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. And again, this is a good week for like the top 5 to 6 teams here matchup-wise. And when you get the Ravens, right, you're going to get the Cleveland Browns, and you're going to get Dylan Gabriel. And yeah, the Browns are going to be at home, but the Ravens, man, their defense has picked it up since the bye, since they got Lamar Jackson back. Everyone is rallying around it. And when you're going up against Dylan Gabriel at the quarterback, it's going to be a very, very tough matchup for him going up against the Baltimore Ravens. I like them for a pick. I like them for a couple sacks in this game as well. And the Ravens defense, man, they got a couple good games in a row here. So if they're on your waiver wire, make sure you check their upcoming schedule ahead too. And that's going to be the same situation here for the Atlanta Falcons, guys. And this is like one of my favorite pickups on the waiver wire if they're available right now for you guys. So you have to look at this as well. So they're going to get the Carolina Panthers this week. And we know what we saw with Bryce Young last week. Dowdle at least scored to save the Panthers' ugly loss to the Saints there. So, and the Falcons are at home versus Carolina, which is going to be great. But what you have to look at, besides loving the matchup versus the Carolina Panthers, is you get the New Orleans Saints on the road and the New York Jets after that. That is 3 gold mines. And they just put up 12 points versus the Colts and 15 points versus the Colts and 12 points versus the Pats. Both those are good offenses. And they put up 10.5 earlier in the season versus the Buffalo Bills. So what they did in the draft by trading their picks to get more DNs in the first round to send pressure off the edges is really working. Even though they're not winning games, this defense has been vastly improved. And when you get the Carolina Panthers and the schedule they have ahead, make sure you target the Atlanta Falcons. Now, number 5. Now, this is what I was going to say before the video, and I kind of paused and forgot because I'm just cranking out so much content right now. Is I would put the Green Bay Packers in the 1 or 2 spot here if it's Russell Wilson that's going to be quarterback. But we don't have that information yet. You know, Jackson Dart took the concussion. That's his 4th time he's been checked for a concussion this year. But there also could be Jameis Winston. And what we saw from Russell Wilson last week with a 10-point lead just looked absolutely terrible. Jameis Winston's a gunslinger. So that's why I have this I'll put the Packers at 5. I would put them 1 or 2 if I know if it's Russell Wilson. And then again, Jameis can sling it. If Dart's out there, I still have them back at 5. You know, the defense is absolutely phenomenal. You saw what they did to the Eagles last night. But still, it's just one of those situations where we don't know the quarterback yet. So I'm going to break down all the variables that I would, to try and give you guys how I would rank it. Number 6 is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. And man, Jim Harbaugh has got something special here brewing. Since the return of Khalil Mack, they've just been lights out. I mean, versus the Vikings, 13 points. Versus Steelers, 15.5 points. Tennessee Titans, I thought they'd do better. They got 6.5 points there. You're going to get the Jacksonville Jaguars here. Yeah, you're on the road. But you just saw what the Houston Texans did to the Jacksonville Jaguars. How can you not like the Chargers right after that? I think this is going to be another kind of a grunge type game here, although we're looking at, I guess it depends on how the run game works, because the Jaguars defense has been good versus the run. They get shattered versus the pass. So maybe Herbert opens the game up like that in the pass game. The over-under is 43.5, but I still love the Chargers at number 6 this week. Number 7 and number 8, we're going to target the same game here. We're going to talk about them both. So the Vikings are going up against the Chicago Bears. Vikings are at home, 6-3 Bears, 4-5 Vikings, over under 48.5. It's a high implied point total, but this seems like a game to me where the turnovers are going to be there in bunches on both sides of the ball. So I know the Bears defense is beat up and they're massively injured, and Caleb Williams has been playing great, but I just feel like in Minnesota this week, I know J.J. McCarthy probably throw a pick here or there, and Caleb Williams probably throw a pick here or there, and I think these fronts are just going to get after these quarterbacks really, really bad this week. So it's not like a game I love these defenses. I just think it's going to be a game where they actually score a lot of points on defense in this game, and people are going to think it's going to be a shootout game, and I don't think it's going to be. Number 9, they're just a good defense, man. And this is I don't like the matchup at all. You're going up against Seattle. Sam Darnold had a down game last week, but the Seattle Seahawks have been blowing everyone out, so they don't even really need to use anybody. Now this is a 7-2 NFC West division battle game here. So, and we don't know if Devontae Adams is going to be out there. I think he's going to be with the oblique. But, again, it's not a good matchup, but this Rams defense that they have gelling with the young guys that they've got, the edges, it's absolutely ridiculous. Jason Verrett is a freaking monster. And damn, the Rams D is just good, man. So it's not like I like this play, but I think they're like a plug-and-play defense you can just leave for the rest of the season here. Number 10, the Kansas City Chiefs coming off a bye. Big game here for them. This is going to be like the coaching Andy Reid, Spagnola gem here, right? And you've seen the Broncos offense. They're like the Steelers defense, man. They're on, then they're off. 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 And we don't know. Like, that was a baseball score last week. It was terrible. Like, Bo Nix is so inconsistent that I'm going to say that the Chiefs coming off a bye, McDuffie's going to be out there on Sutton. It's going to be a tough game for Bo Nix again. And you got to like the Chiefs defense. You got J.K. Dobbins banged up too, taking that hip drop tackle. Maybe they let R.J. Harvey loose as well. But I mean, Evan Ingram hasn't been getting any usage at all. He's playing like 40% snaps, so that's killing me. But I'm going to throw the Chiefs in at 10. And again, it's just because the Broncos offense has just been sputtering. Now, when I brought up at the beginning, these are my streamer plays that are probably available on your waiver wire. So, and this is a good one here. The Dallas Cowboys. So we know what they did. We know they went and traded for Quinnen Williams. We know they added Logan as well. Their defensive line is going to be beefed up. You're going to get Monday night. Their secondary still definitely holes for sure. Can definitely be gashed. But you're playing the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, the over-under is 50.5. I don't think the Raiders are going to score that much. Their offense has been absolutely shambles with Geno Smith. And Geno Smith's like Tua Tagovailoa, just throwing picks, and he's looked terrible. So we're hoping that the run game with the new front that the Cowboys traded a lot of pieces for in capital before the trade deadline for, coming off a bye, going to be healthier, going to get after them, and you get Monday Night Football. It's not a bad streaming option at all, even though it looks like a very high implied point total game. I don't think the Raiders are going to keep up that much in this game. Number 2, my beat up 49ers defense, man, but we are going to get Jacoby Brissett and the Arizona Cardinals. And I know Jacoby Brissett's been on fire, I guess you could say. They played from behind all last game and kind of got garbage points galore there. But again, these are tough. It's a tough streaming option week to decide. So I know we're missing Warner. I know we're missing Bosa. I know we're missing Michael Williams. I know our defense is beat up. But whenever the 49ers come off a loss, Robert Saleh and Shanahan, and they always coach up a gem here. So it is a dart throw play, especially with how Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride have looked. And maybe they get Trey Benson back too, which could help their running game. But still, division matchup here. 49ers aren't trying to lose this game, and they're going to get after Jacoby Brissett in this game. Number 3, again, this is ugly. The Commanders' defense is not good by any single means. And I'll break down to you why these are my streaming options looking at the other matchups after this. And you guys tell me if you would play any of these other streamers. So, Commanders, you get Tua. I mean, what else could you want? This guy's just throwing picks every single game. Even though they beat the Bills, I had him as an anytime interception last week. That was a lock. I think he's thrown like 10 picks in like 5 games. That's 2 a game. That gives you the opportunity to take one to the house at any single time. So, Commanders, another secondary's beat up. I know Lattimore, I know Amos, all of them are down, but still Tua just cannot figure it out for some reason. He throws a couple picks every single game. So I don't love it, but if you need a dart throw like you're in a competitive league, the Commanders' defense is not bad just based on the Tua accuracy that's happening right now. Now let's look at the rest of these matchups and tell me, or you guys tell me, and this is what I'm kind of looking at here, streamer-wise, what you would do. Bills, Bucks, no. Falcons, Panthers, I took the Falcons. They're already ranked in. Panthers versus the Falcons, maybe if you wanted to. But I don't think the Panthers are on a lot of waiver wires because they've been a good defense. So Texans are number 1. Are we doing the Titans? No. Bears, Vikings, we targeted. Am I doing the New York Giants versus the Packers? No. Bengals, Steelers? No. Bengals? No. Chargers, Jags? No. Seahawks, Rams? Seahawks versus Rams? No. Rams are unstoppable right now. Browns, Ravens? No. Putting the Browns versus Lamar Jackson? No. Broncos versus Patrick Mahomes? I didn't even rank in the top 10. Lions, Eagles, possible shootout game, not targeting that defensively. So when I'm looking at these streamers, like you see the Cowboys, 49ers, and Commanders, it's a tough week to pick them in. So that was the best 3 I could get just based off statistical analysis I just gave you. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. That is my top 10 kickers plus 3 streamer options if you need for the waiver wire tonight. If you guys want to check out my waiver wire video and my kicker ranking videos, those are out. Next, we're going to dive into sleepers and smash starts. And then tomorrow we'll do all the stardom sit-ems. And then Thursday, all the rankings. And then that is it for me the week. I'll be live, but no more content after that. I have the family coming into town, so it's going to be plans all weekend long. But I promise the live shows will happen. On your way out, if you guys haven't already, tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on. Helps me out a ton. Can't thank you guys enough for all the support. If you have any questions as well, drop them down below. It does not have to pertain to this video. I try to answer every single one of them to help you guys. It's becoming tougher and tougher, but I still try to get them all. And if you haven't checked out Drafters or the Guys FF Discord, both those are pinned in the comments down below and in the description of the video. That is it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I will catch you guys in the next episode. Sleazebomb out.